We'll just highlight the last use case, and that automating Meraki, and that automating organizational parameters, network-wide parameters, and device settings. Meraki is an excellent product, but what you find is you got to click in several steps to automate or to configure tasks and settings. And you don't want to do that, per VLAN on 3,000 switches, right? So with that, I will stop share. And Olivier, if you want to show the last demo.
Yep. So for instance, you want to automate settings. So quickly, this is a Meraki setup. And, when you're looking at, this is their dashboard. And when, for instance, you want to, let's say, maintain your SSIDs, then you need to go click on SSID and you can see all this here. Then you need to do this on every single network, right? So the idea is trying to help with that. And so I can import all my networks here. I'm importing all my networks, and I'm going to synchronize various things onto my let me do this. Take all these networks. Next, it's going to import all these different networks, 9 networks, right? So it's importing all of them here. Close. And what I'm going to do is I want to, oops, I'm sorry, it's not the right one. Oops, this one. And here I can just choose that I would like to synchronize, all these different networks here, right? So I can do this. I can choose any network that I want. This, for instance, I think this is enough. And you can see I have all these different networks. But what I want to do is on these networks, let's go and see the networks. Then on all of them, I want to change global settings. So I have multi-edit capabilities. Let's say I want to change the time zones to all of them to GMT, whatever that is here. And I want to apply various settings, and I can do this. We have different settings here I'm exposing. I have already these instances that I have built. And for wireless, I want to deploy a third SSID, for instance. So I have my first one, second one, third one. I could just deploy the exact one that I have here. And I've used another one ready to go, which is, NFDX here. I could save the whole thing here. And let me deploy this. I don't want to preview. I want to make it happen. Start. You can see that it's going to engage with Meraki. And you can see that, for instance, on my network settings, this is why I have disabled local status page, all this disabled. This is the SNMP settings that I want to deploy. This is the syslog server that I want to use. And this is the corporate SSID that I want to use with a whole bunch of variables. And, this is what Meraki is asking you to configure. And this is the third, SSID that I want to deploy. And so what Gluware is doing now is it's configuring this at scale, which is synchronizing all these different settings here. So the idea is that you can do this at scale, such as even deploying IP helpers on all your VLAN interfaces on all your switches. So we have a customer that has this scale problem right now where they've got 1,000 devices of Meraki and they have to deploy, they have 3 VLANs, 4 users on each, and they have to go and click on IP helpers every single time in order to enable service to their users. And it's done manually today. So with this, you have a way to, in 15 minutes, they're able to just deploy, IP helpers, 5 IP helpers on 3,000 interfaces, which was basically the idea.
And with that, we want to thank you and just point you to Gluware free at gluware.com/pricing. You could take a test drive on our system, gluware.com/test-drive. We set up a virtual system. You sign in and get access to it. And finally, you can just go on gluware.com and request a demo.